Don't be like that.
We're
man.
using their mics.
Still sponsored.
Doesn't feel sponsored.
Doesn't feel very sponsored.
Feels
Well,
Feels forced.
see, with this, I could at least set it up beforehand and leave that one running.
Yeah. There we go.
So I
we're just not
appreciate
as
you.
important as.
It sounds fucking great.
That's what Tevin called it, the Dick Diaries. We're going to make an
This is
opposing.
on record, by the way.
I'm watching.
it's
Shout
on
out to Tabby. We're going to make a op podcast called the Dick
I
Diaries.
didn't know. It's pretty much our podcast if you think about it.
The Diaries of the Dick. We're more elegant.
We're two dicks,
Diaries
and
of
this is
the
our diary.
Oh, man. We're supposed to go live. Are we just going to?
We're gonna go live.
It's a little late.
Yeah, I don't think we'll get anything.
It's 10 o'clock.
We need to get 100 subscribers. That's what we need.
We will get them. We'll go live tomorrow.
They shall come.
If you build it, they will come.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
100 subscribers. That'll be nice.
Y'all know what you're getting into.
Not at all. We never do.
All right, then we're gonna
Well,
go.
We were supposed to let the live viewers pick Tempe or Tampa. So,
What was
John,
first?
you were the live viewer today.
What was first?
Ooh, what was for Tampa, right? Then Tempe? Pretty
Maybe.
sure.
How do we end up in
I gotta go
Tempe?
get my
Where do we
nose
even go?
re-pierced. Jeez. I can't do a hoop, though. I feel like black dudes can rock hoops.
I actually got my nose pierced in Florida. Don't know why.
You what?
I got my nose pierced in Florida.
While we were in Florida?
I think so. I was in Florida when it happened.
That's wild. I don't remember that at all.
Well, you went on a whole
Yeah.
skydive with.
Yeah, that's true.
You got a pretty dope Tempe story. I think we're in Tampa. I think we go with Tampa.
Just go with Tampa. Let's do it.
Oh man, yeah, cause
We shot videos there.
yeah,
Tony Lamar.
yes, and he was on the last episode as the feature of Antonio's story. So I think it's naturally we.
Yeah,
go
that makes
into-
sense.
I talked to him today or yesterday. It was a great day for him. He's got a child now. I can't remember the gender, but
I think it's a girl.
okay. So he's got a baby girl, which is really cool.
This is all off the record, though, right?
Nah, nothing's off.
Wait.
the record.
He's got a girl. Baby girl, right?
Yeah,
I'm just making sure because we haven't done the intro yet. So
we don't start with the intro.
yeah, we usually do.
No,
Maybe not.
We've never started any episode.
not a single.
Just some
Ever.
bullshit first.
Oh, we will start with this. A cheers.
This is not as good as I thought.
I'll
it
cheers
would
you
be.
from
What
afar.
is it? It looks not
Simply
Like the
Simply
spiked.
spiked. It's
Yeah.
good.
It
It's
looks
just not good in
organic.
this size.
good. It looks like the
Like-
healthy.
Like if it was this big, I'd be like, oh, cool, I can do that.
That just too
But-
much. It gets too warm too fast, or what?
Well, it's just like too sweet. And so like if it would have,
so why does that a smaller can make a difference?
because I don't have to drink as much of it.
Okay,
Now I feel
Goldilocks
obligated.
ass drinker.
That's fair.
This drink is.
I know
just
you're not
right.
fucking talking. I won't drink anything unless it's red. I just had to
About to
twist,
drink.
I had to twist your
what
arm
this-
to drink those. You're like, no, that shit. I
This
don't drink
episode
those.
is sponsored by something not red.
We want it
That's
to be
all?
sponsored by something
Yeah.
that's not red.
Reds will sponsor us too. So
We'll get fucked up for anybody.
high noon,
I knew.
sun sips,
We're back. We've done this before.
sipping on some sun.
We need you.
Sipping on some fun.
Sipping
Something.
Somebody sipping on some.
Yo,
high
that
noon.
video on the days of the week that you drink, it's at almost 7,000 views.
What? The
Yeah.
Saturday,
The
the Saturday, Sunday,
the days
today,
that start
tomorrow.
with T. Today, tomorrow.
today, tomorrow,
Mm.
Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday,
Sunday.
You alcoholics.
Oh,
cheers
they
to
tried
y'all.
to talk shit. They were like,
cheers.
imagine being a proud alcoholic. I'm imagine.
I
Hi,
don't
I'm
have to
Tone.
imagine.
Like,
I
what the
am.
fuck?
And
Very
it's not an
proud.
alcoholic. I'm an alcohol enthusiast. Okay, I don't wake up shaking and shivering for a drink, bitch. I just get thirsty.
We don't shuck and drive.
Wait,
We
you want me to
don't shuck
fucking
and
drink?
drive for
You want me to? What, you want me to drink Kool-Aid, bitch? Like,
That reminds me of, you remember the movie Hancock, Will Smith?
oh yeah.
She's like, you smell like alcohol. He's like, because I've been drinking, bitch. Like the best line ever.
That's so
the
good.
fuck?
I was just watching that with my
Kind of
grandma.
superhero Hardy. You smell like alcohol.
I was just watching that with my grandma last time I went to my dad's.
Yeah.
I was like just walking in. I'm like, hey, grandma. She's like, hey. I was like, what you watching? She was like, hey. I was like, you know how like you like stand and watch something,
Yeah.
then you slowly like
Yeah. Just
and
creep
now,
your way
now
over.
I'm at one point,
Yeah.
bro. I'm like laying on my grandma's bed, like I'm like, Grandma, all these damn commercials, I can't do this shit. She's like, I don't even mind them. I don't even pay attention to them. I'm like, what do you do then? You don't have a phone. You don't have a book out. You're just watching commercials. And then the same commercials.
Really?
Oh, yeah. They man, I swear
Bruh.
it's like when you're watching a TV channel, anything on TV, it's like the same 4 commercials in between each time they come back to the show.
And it's horrible.
So bad.
I was like, Grandma, you know I can get you something without commercials.
It's like Cialis commercial, a fucking antidepressant commercial.
All the saddest commercials that you can ever think of. And then there's one good commercial.
Yeah.
I think it was on like a black-owned station. And you're like watching. The fucked up part is every commercial is the same. It's just all black people. So now you get like a antidepressant commercial that's all black people. You get a Cialis commercial that's all black people. You get like a fucking
Scruff McGruff.
Yeah,
Stop
bro,
the
like-
crime.
They did a juice commercial. It was all black people. I'm like,
You know what really throw a wrench in things? They just flipped it around and they just have like all the black commercials on the white
On the white channel?
I would love that.
boy, black people turn that shit off so quick. Man, what the hell is this? What the hell? Hey, someone get in here. I ain't seen not one nigga on one commercial. Hell no. The only commercial. No, I'm gonna stop right there because you know what? I almost said some shit. Let me stop. But yeah, bro, I'm watching Hancock with her, and my favorite part is when at the end where Mike Epps. He moves to New York and he's like chasing Mike Epps.
Yeah.
And he lands. He goes boom, and Mike Epps goes, "Oh shit, it's hand job." What you gonna do with that tight ass Wolverine costume? You got-
I love, and then the credits rolls like Mike Epps as Mike Epps.
Yeah.
Like he did not have, he wasn't a villain.
He didn't have a
wasn't
character.
fucking- he had no powers. He's just Mike Epps.
Real dope.
Oh shit.
I was really hoping they'd make a second one of those. That would have been.
Me too. I
That'd
had
have
a
been
whole
awesome.
universe written
Yeah.
for the Hancock series.
You have to at that point. There's
Yeah,
got to be at
yeah.
least one supervillain. Like you gotta come back with a supervillain at least. Maybe one of the other pairs, like one of the other angel things,
Yeah.
is a villain instead of a good person, like a good guy. And maybe she's like, oh, they all died off. Maybe one didn't, and now he's just evil as fuck.
Have you seen?
That'd have been lit.
God. Did you watch Invincible?
I think.
Is that the one with Mark Wahlberg?
No, it's the animated.
Oh yeah.
superhero show. And it's funny. We'll get to it in another episode, but we started watching it in Tempe.
We started watching it in Tempe.
Yeah, and then I left your ass. I think you went to the bathroom. I was supposed to pause it. I'm like, motherfucker, I watched 4 episodes. Like,
I'm like,
that
bro,
shit's fire.
what the heck? Oh, is
Shit
that when I
so
was-
good?
Okay.
Yeah, we
Was
know
that
what you were
was
doing.
me?
We'll get back to that.
We're not talking
But
about Tempe right now. We're talking.
Invincible is like that. It's where Hancock could have went, but it's.
I mean,
fucking
man,
dope.
I was
Fire.
that nigga is the realest, bro.
And like the guy that got to voice him, like everything about it's fucking.
Oh
dope.
yeah, he plays
J. Jonah Jameson from
Jonah
Spider-Man.
Jameson. Oh man,
Yeah.
so good.
When I saw him casted, I was like, why would he be a superhero? And then I fucking watched it, like, oh, he's
Never mind.
fire.
Oh, that sounds
Never
dope.
mind.
I
Oh,
haven't seen that.
You haven't seen it?
fire.
No, I haven't.
Oh,
seen that.
bro,
It's
you
same
gotta,
writers as The Boys.
You gotta watch. It is
Seth Rogen.
Okay.
really fucking
Or-
good.
Yeah, Seth Rogen.
And there's a little conspiracy.
yeah, he gets his laugh. Did y'all watch Mario yet?
No, I haven't
No.
seen that.
He
I
is.
need to.
I was worried about Chris Pratt's Mario voice, and then Seth Rogen came in as Donkey Kong, but it was Donkey Kong as Seth Rogen. Like he didn't change a motherfucking thing, not a personality
Oh,
trait.
man.
We got the trademark laugh, and then I hear he's gonna do Ninja Turtles too, which I'm cool.
Yeah,
with
I saw
him
the-
as like Donatello.
There's
or-
like a teaser for that out. That
well,
shit looks.
I don't
dope.
know which one he's
I
gonna
haven't
be.
seen
but
it. There's a teaser out.
I haven't seen
Yeah,
the teaser
dude.
either.
It
But I
looks
know
raw.
he's in charge of it, and it'll be good. But
What?
he does himself as Donkey Kong without, like, he didn't change shit. Like, Chris Pratt did way better than I thought he would. I
Well-
thought we were going to get the same Guardians,
There's some
fucking
people though that can
Lego
like,
Man.
Did you hear that there was a lot of pushback because especially from the white folks that were saying April O'Neil's black? They're like, what?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
dope. I didn't know.
Wait,
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, dude, she got a fro and everything, bro.
April always
April
had a
O'Neil.
fro, though. She always had a fro.
She did, yeah. You're right.
Oh,
But there
and
was people that were literally pissed off. I'm like, get over this shit.
Bro.
I'm cool,
Right.
but there's times where it don't work. Like I'm cool with the Ariel. Like I don't give a fuck. Like and
It's a
Ariel
fucking
can
mermaid.
sing her
Mermaid,
ass
yeah.
off. Yeah, but I don't know if y'all ever watched Teen Titans growing up. They
Yeah,
did a
of
live
course.
show of that, and they made
Oh, yeah, I did
Starfire
see
Black.
that.
She's trash. Like
Nah,
so trash.
I have to disagree.
You watched the show.
I watched it all the seasons.
Starfire is such a good character because of how ditzy she is and how foreign she is,
Yeah.
and we get none of that from this black
but
girl.
because it's past that point. It's not like, oh, she's I don't know where I'm at.
That shit was
and what is
funny.
there? Where? No. Fuck no. She's supposed to be strong and fierce. She's one of the most powerful Teen Titans. No one can fuck with her. She's supposed to be a badass. I thought it was done very well.
I don't even
It's
know what
horrible.
Teen Titans is. I know it's DC, but I'm not a
Wow.
DC guy, so
What?
yeah, no.
What did he say?
What did he
Press
say?
it.
What did he say?
Yeah, you Teen Titans is
What?
it's
I'm
Robin Lang.
Did you watch
I'm
the old
vaguely
ones?
familiar.
Not Teen Titans Go, because fuck that.
It's actually Teen Titans Go's actually got some good
Like,
shit.
You say that because you got kids.
So I'm
You
no,
don't
aware.
wanna hear
it's
any
funny.
other-
Like Beast Boy got
It's
bars.
funny.
Beast Boy
Beast
got bars.
Beast Boy ain't never supposed to have no fucking bars. It's
But
Teen
he's
Titans.
fire.
Yeah,
Not-
And
See,
it's
I'm
the same
aware.
voice
Not
actors.
Team Bot biting. Like that shit pisses me off.
So I'm aware, but I've never watched it.
Don't watch Teen Titans Go. It's
Isn't there like
trash.
somebody that's
Watch
green?
Yeah,
Beast Boy. Oh my God,
Okay.
we're gonna change topics. Them, like,
Yeah, you're
you
just-
gonna have to
you wanna
produce
talk
when we
Marvel?
get into this.
Y'all want to talk Marvel though? I got you.
That's racist.
Guardians of the Galaxy. Come on now.
Guardians are like
What the
fucking
hell?
They're coming out
F-list
soon.
comic book
But
heroes.
they're still coming out.
They're
movie
doing
coming
amazing.
soon.
So that's gonna
but
be-
Teen Titans.
I hear
is
it's gonna be a
more-
tearjerker. It's
Somebody's
supposed to be really fucking sad.
Somebody's
Oh
gonna
well,
die.
somebody, a couple people gonna die. I'm sure.
Motherfuckers was not trying to renew that contract.
Hell no. Batista, oh,
Batista been
Batista
shitting on
been doing-
the series the whole time.
he
Like,
said, "Motherfucker,
bro,
I'm
they got me
Speaking
12 hours
of
doing
Batista,
makeup.
Knock at the Cabin on
I haven't seen that yet.
God, what's that on? I want to say it might be on Paramount, might be on HBO Max,
Yeah.
but man,
It's good.
yeah,
I like Glass Onion a lot.
Glass
With
Onion was
him,
dope.
Everybody.
The fuck
Daniel
is Glass
Craig.
Onion?
Man,
It's a
it's
mystery
a murder
movie,
mystery kind of thing.
and it's really
Yeah.
good.
But
Really good.
there was another one that's like the
Death on the
follow up
Nile?
to. I can't remember what that one is, but yeah, Death on the Nile was pretty all right.
I
But
haven't seen that.
That was pretty good.
yeah.
Okay.
You seen that movie?
I kind of like murder mystery movies. You know, like Who Did It?
Yeah, yeah. A little twist
Clue.
at the end really makes it
Yeah.
worth it. Have you seen that one movie with the chef and he like
Oh,
claps? What's it called?
yes. That shit was
That
fucking
movie
wicked,
was
dude.
fucking wild, bro. I watched that shit when like some chick was over. She's like, "I'll watch it with you." We were watching that shit. We didn't talk to each other for the whole movie. We didn't touch each other. We didn't cuddle. I made food. We didn't eat it, bro. We just
You
were in the
actually
movie.
chilled and watched Netflix.
It was so.
So I
good.
know I invited you to Netflix and chill, but that was not part of the plan.
wasn't.
This movie is fire.
I was
It
like,
was
"Don't
sick,
touch me."
Please don't talk to me.
Yeah, like don't touch me.
I was like,
Damn.
Right. She reaches over.
Hey, get your goddamn hands. What Denzel said, get your fucking hands off of me.
nah, I
God
get that we'll have to look it up later on. But that
Please
movie,
do.
you gotta watch that
Please
shit, dude.
do.
Fucking crazy.
That movie was really good.
Hmm.
God, I can't drink this anymore.
I submit.
I'm really trying my best.
That's
Man.
great.
What we do? Episode 4 is
Episode 4 is out now. Oh well, we're not live.
we're past
Oh,
tense.
yeah.
So technically, it's
We don't know. How, yeah.
Five
We
will
can
be
talk
out by
about
technically it's
now.
2
5 because
episodes ago.
that's how prepared we are. We are 2 eps ahead of everybody.
That's a great way to cover our track.
2 eps ahead.
2 eps ahead. That doesn't sound like the
15,
right thing.
30, 45,
Dude.
47.
38.
45, 47.
I'm gonna start going to Dwight because you don't laugh at none of my Dwight. Who?
Watch out for the police.
Right around your lips.
The what?
Dwight who? That's the way he said. Right around your lips.
Mike Epps is a treasure,
Bro.
He's so
Protect that man.
unappreciated.
Absolutely.
Yes, at all costs.
So last episode, what we did, we talked
did
about Dallas.
Dallas.
I think we got to get into Tampa this episode.
Tampa, it is.
Tampa, it is.
Before we get there, we were supposed to do we were supposed to go live Sunday. What happened Sunday?
Yeah.
We started working
I'm
on
curious.
that fucking bed.
Bro, fuck
Fuck that bed.
that bed. I'm happy we got it done for my nieces. But, bro, that bed, when I tell you, dog, like, I've never felt dumber in my life.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks.
This bed stinks.
We did.
Bro,
That was embarrassing.
we were like, we were talking about earlier before that, we're like, we need to find a woman that we can be
House husbands
husbands too.
I was like, well, shit, I've been cooking, I've been cleaning. He's like, I'm handy. I can put shit together.
I can do yard work. Man, this motherfucking bed humbled the fuck out of us. Let me tell you something about the sandwich this nigga made.
Hold on.
I had two conditions. Grab something to drink and make sure there's a sandwich. All I want is mayo and turkey. He bring out wheat bread. Fuck you.
Yum.
He didn't
No.
specify the bread.
Then he brought out no Miracle Whip.
God damn it.
Yep.
Yeah,
No
okay,
fucking
Riley.
mayo.
Okay, Riley.
No.
You got mayo?
That sandwich was dry as hell.
He's like, you got mustard at least? God damn.
Then
Actually, I did not
didn't have no
mustard.
condiments. I had to
my
put
God.
Yeah, bro. That was me the whole.
This is not
I
gonna
was
work.
supposed to eat this dry ass sandwich. Then
Okay, we talk about the sandwich. We gonna talk about how.
hold on, wait. Let me finish about my sandwich first. The sandwich was dry. Okay, I said, "Did you at least bring something to drink?" Because I was over here choking on the fucking old ass wheat bread. Bro, that shit
Oh my
was
God, so dehydrated.
tragic. I had to
Get
put
some ranch.
I had to put those what was those chips, them flaming hot corn chips. They weren't even hot.
Mexican sweet corn.
Mexican
chips.
sweet corn chips on it for flavor. Just to get flavor. I'm like,
Little
this
bit of
bland ass white person ass sandwich. This is something that a white woman packs up for her husband or their kids, bro. Not even like a high school kid, like a fucking preschool kid, bro. That shit was bland. Like I could taste the wheat and the wheat bread before I could taste the meat and the cheese. I was so fucking mad. Then we start putting the bed together.
It was supposed to be a wee thing, by the way. Oh man, I'm gonna knock this out in about
30 minutes.
45 minutes.
But it had to be a wheat thing because guess who gave me the wrong fucking instructions? I'm over here, bruh. I'm putting all the pieces together, organizing them. He's like, man, that's a really good idea. I'm going to run to the gas station, go grab something to drink. I'm like, oh, you don't even got shit here. Comes back. I'm not even back yet. I text him. I'm like, bro, you don't got all these pieces. I'm letting you know right now. Whoever you bought this from, jip the fuck out of you because your daughters are not going to make it on this bed.
They're not gonna make it. This will be their last.
This will
year.
be, yeah, bro. This bitch is going to collapse. So then
Oh, Lord.
we finally get the right instructions.
Yes.
And we're like, what, an hour and a half deep into this? And, bro, the fucking bed, like the way I don't know what the fuck happened, but the part that holds the bed together was facing backwards. When I tell you we both gave up, we looked at each other at the same time. We said,
This backwards, ain't it? Blink, 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 blink. You want to go to
pause,
the bar?
dot, 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 dot,
Hey,
dot,
we supposed to go live? Do you want
to go to the bar. Yes or
Yep.
no?
Yep. Yep. And we're gone. Fuck this whole bed.
What'd you tell baby girl? You said, it'll be ready for you when you come back Monday.
Right. Fuck. Oh, man. That
So
was
then we
trash.
go to the bar. I don't really remember what happens after that, but
Yeah,
I
don't know
do.
if we want to go.
We probably shouldn't.
Yeah, we're gonna. There's some things we.
But then
won't.
Monday, we
got
come
it.
back and
We
we
got it
finished. We made it
We
came
made a
out
bed.
perfect. We
We
made a bed.
Excellent.
Yes. Yes. we made a bed.
Yes,
You both.
excellent. We nailed
Did
it.
we even get?
And then I think we went to go drink again. After
Yes, we
that
did.
to celebrate. We were like,
Oh,
So,
God.
so you drank from frustration and then you drank to celebrate.
you know what we did today?
Imagine
We
being
did
a
the-
proud
Cheers.
alcoholic.
We did the impossible. Guess I'll just finish it.
Yeah.
Might as
Oh
well.
my God.
When in Rome,
Yeah.
chug, chug, chug.
Oh, before we get to Tempe,
Gotta zoom in on that. You gotta zoom in on that.
Simply spiked my ass. Oh damn! Pause.
Simply spiked his ass.
Can we put a pause sound in there?
I need one, dude. I need one.
Oh,
Damn.
damn! Naughty girl.
Oh man.
Oh man! All right, Dallas. We shouted out KP. Shouted out my brother Q.
Shout it out, Riley.
Yep, big shout outs. We talked about this over the weekend.
Why are you slouching?
It's my posture.
You can move the mic too. It's cool.
Works. Put it by my dick.
What? What did he say?
What did he say?
I need to be ready.
What did he say?
Siblings.
Uh-huh.
How many siblings you got?
Technically, I have 4, but I grew up with 12 boys and 2 girls.
How did that happen?
So this is how I found out.
Oh shit!
I'm in the backyard. We got like a fucking cheap ass blow up pool. We're out there splashing and shit. Next thing you know, like 8 African niggas come in the backyard,
What?
and I freak out, bro. This is like before. Like, I'm gonna be real. I'm as white as a black kid could be. I'm wearing polo short shorts and tube socks to school every day.
Hello.
Hey, I was scared. I jumped out of the pool. I've never met these motherfuckers a day in my life. I jump out of the pool. They're like, I remember my cousin Robin be like, "We about to get up in there with y'all," and I was like, "I don't know you,
Who
bro."
are you?
I dip. I run around the whole house because I can't get through the back door because they came through the back door, and there's like 10 of them. I'm like, bro,
They
first off,
rushing through the back, and we heading to the front.
bruh, there's no way you're getting by everyone. I freak out. I run to the front of the yard. I get into the front door. I'm like, Dad, we're about to get jumped for our pool outside. He goes, boy, shut your ass up. Those are your cousins. What?
What did you say?
What did he say? Bro, I was blown. I was like, what?
So you just got 8 cousins dumped on you?
Just showed up one day. Didn't even consult me. Didn't ask me about it. Didn't tell
When
me
did
about
they
it.
leave?
Never. Nigga. As they graduated, my dad was
Holy
like,
shit.
my dad raised them. Like, so, like,
Yeah.
we grew up 12, like, deep. My cousin, a couple of my cousins, they came with their mom. So it's my uncle's kids, and he was serving time at the time. So my dad, wanted to help out, and they were in a bad situation. And so he brought them from East St. Louis to Cedar Rapids, brought my Aunt Rosemary to the kid's mom. And we had a nice sized house, so he felt like it's his turn to give back and be. He's the oldest, so he's like, it's my responsibility. And so then like a year or so later, my Aunt Rosemary wanted to move back. She wasn't really feeling Iowa, so she took her youngest 3, T-Man, Caleb, Quantea, and Nikki. Took 4. So we actually for a year or so had 5 girls, and 14 boys. Sorry. But I grew up, Jansen, Robert, Ivan, Tyrone, Jason, me, Jarrell, Trey, John, Alicia, Charlay, Robert. So, yeah. We grew up deep.
Okay.
As fuck.
So originally it was you, Jarrell, Charlay.
Yeah, it was just me, Jarrell, Trey, Charlay, and Alicia, my cousin Alicia.
Okay.
So it was 5 of us in the house.
Yeah.
So we went from having 3 square meals a day. I mean, my Aunt Margaret, my mom, and my dad. So we went from having like 3 square meals a day plus dessert. We were, we had decent amount of money. Like we were
well off.
to eating big ass pots of ramen noodles. Nigga, we had, bro, like that was it.
It was
like
a soup kitchen.
like, bro, pots this big, and that's what and then you came up. I'll never forget this story. This is one of my favorite stories in the world. We went in order from youngest to oldest. That's how you got to eat. My Aunt Margaret was the cook. She was a housekeeper. She took care of us. She washed our clothes. She cleaned. She cooked for us. My mom and my dad worked.
Yeah.
She had a soft spot for my older brother Trey because Trey was smaller. He was more petite than all of us. We were all pretty big, outdoorsy, athletic type of kids. Trey was very smart, probably one of the smartest out of all of us, next to Jarrell. This dude could take apart a computer, put it back together when he was like 13, 14. Like, the opposite of me. Like,
that was the complete opposite.
The complete
Like,
opposite.
I
didn't even know
he took
fucking
all of that.
All right.
Like all the little
Hey,
brain.
nigga, damn.
Woo!
You want to hear the crazy part? We're exactly 6 months apart.
Yeah.
So
He took
June
all
7th,
that
December
technical
7th.
shit.
He just took all that shit with him. And so we're in the basement. We're all in the basement. My Aunt Margaret's like, We literally had a bell, bro, because in case we were outside
Yeah.
playing, like she would ring a bell,
Yeah.
and we would all fucking come dipping from the corners of Cedar Rapids. And so we're all happened to be in the basement at this time, and she fucking rings the bell. Y'all come up here and eat. Girls already ate. Y'all come here and eat.
This remind me of fucking Annie or
Bro.
what?
Oh, nigga. It was a hard knock life.
The Willy
was
Wonka
like
movie
prison,
where
nigga.
the motherfucker ain't leave the bed for 30 seconds.
Hey, and they gonna get his ass. Don't get me started on that, bro. I'll go into a whole fucking. I'll go into a whole
Continue
fucking
your
thing.
story.
Anyways, don't fucking get me started on that. Grandpa was fucked up for that. Nigga could have been had a job.
Damn.
Anyway, so she rings the bell. She goes, y'all come up here and eat. The girls already ate. Y'all can come up here and eat. My brother Trey is in the bathroom. The bathroom is right by the steps. We're on like this big ass living room area. Yeah. He tries to sneak and get up the steps first. Bro, tell me why it was like a stampede. And we used to body each other. Bro, Trey, someone slapped his feet. He fell. Niggas was like, dum, 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 dum. He got stepped on, stomped on. We all at the table getting our food, eating. He coming up. Margaret. Margaret. After that, Margaret used to call Trey up first with the rest of the little kids. So she'd be like,
So shitty.
girls come eat. Trey come eat.
Oh.
And so and it was
So he hates you now.
probably. Yeah.
This story won't help.
He actually
Like,
used to bully me. And then my dad comes up to me one day. I'm like crying. I'm like, Dad, I can't do this no more.
Yeah.
He's like, nigga. He like smacked me. He's like, nigga.
Oh my God.
he's like, nigga, you are taller than him. And I like looked at myself for the first time. I'm like, oh, I am taller than him. And I just go to the living room. I stand in front of him. He's like, what? And I just fucking unload on this motherfucker. For like 10 minutes. My dad's just standing there like, finally my mom comes coming running out. She's like, stop. What are you doing? Nick, stop them. He's like, hold on. Let him finish. Let him finish.
the other one never
you go.
started.
Bruh. There was so many. I could give so many stories on growing up there, bro. It was literally, I'm on one end, on one end of the spectrum. You're like, as an adult, you're like, damn, thinking about how fortunate my life could have been had I not had to struggle, had I had been able to have all this extra money to throw me in this piano lessons, guitar lessons, dance lessons, all these things that I wasn't able to do because money was so scarce.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm so grateful and blessed because it was never a dull day. I got to have 10 brothers, you know what I mean? And even if you're beefing with one, you have 9 others to be cool with.
Yeah.
And we were really like a fucking tribe, bro. Like there are times where somebody's about to get their ass whooped. Hey, I got my ass whooped Monday. It ain't gonna be me. Well, it's Wednesday.
Right.
Who hadn't got their ass whooped yet?
Yeah.
Jarrell, Tyrone, y'all turn, go on and go up. So it was a great life, man. I wouldn't trade it for anything. But you have how many siblings do you have?
I have never counted. So we're gonna count on the episode. So I only grew up with Jacob and Alicia, my mom's 2 outside of me. So Jacob is 6 years younger than me. Alicia is 8 years younger than me. But you know, growing up, it was pretty deep. We were 8 deep in a 1-bedroom apartment. It was,
Damn.
Yeah, a big damn.
I was trying to not say it. My face was saying it though. I was like,
but
1 bedroom. Nigga. Hold on.
it was my grandma, my mom. It was my uncles, Rick and Lewis, my aunt Renisha, and then me. I don't know what number I'm at. Oh, and then the lady we're living with, my godmother, Kareen. So and then her son.
I like that name.
Yeah, Kareen.
I really like that
Kareen's
name.
It's a great name.
Kareen's amazing. She an angel, still with us, thank God. But yeah, she's definitely I don't know what the fuck life would have been had my grandma not been best friends with Kareen, who took us in. I couldn't imagine, just being there, getting 4 kids, and then one of the kids is pregnant. Like, that's pretty crazy. So,
Damn.
yeah, but we made it work. It's crazy because, like, I never really knew I was poor, and we were definitely really poor. Like, roaches and shit was normal. probably eating one time a day, if that. Normal, like food is just food, but like we always had love in the house. We always had fun. We always played games. My mom was young, so my uncles. It's a weird place that I like. My uncles are like, I think they're what uncles are supposed to be. Like they're so close to being like dads to me, but we're such good friends, like brothers.
I love that.
So I think it's like exactly like the
Right.
uncle dad or brother dad is what an uncle is, and they are the epitome of it. Like I love so much about both my uncles. They are both my role models, both my dads, both big brothers.
What's the age difference?
My uncle Lewis, I think is 12 years older than me. My uncle Rick is 10 years older than me.
Right.
So like once I turned like 19, 20, we were like kicking it.
Yeah.
And it just our dynamic changed. But from the age 0 to like 7 or no, I would probably say about like 10, 11. Like they were just like my role models, and I took different things from. Like Rick was always like in the streets, gangster, player, and then Lewis was always love and family and protecting us and providing. And I got to take a little bit of that from each of them, and that made who I am. And but I still like till this day like idolize and adore both of them and everything they've given me and just who they are as individuals. And then
I can actually see that.
Yeah.
Like from knowing both of them, like knowing Lou, like I mean he's our security guard. Nothing says more.
Oh, okay.
Nothing
Yeah.
says more than like I'm a protector. I'm a lover. I will make sure you
I
guys
can see
are
that
good.
in him.
And
then
he's so
Absolutely.
serious about it. And
Yeah.
I love him. I don't
that
have
about
him there.
him.
I never want him to fucking try to break up a fight or throw a punch. Like, and
Yeah.
I don't know if he would or not, but like I don't ever want him to do that. But he is so protective of like T1 and the people.
He is,
like
bro.
that's his kind of security.
There's been
role,
a
not
couple
the,
times
I'm
where-
gonna fuck you up type of security. He
Yeah.
snapped. He's gotten.
There's a couple times he's like come up to me and be like, "You good, T?" Like,
Yeah.
even if like a female grabs me the wrong way,
Yeah, he'll.
he'll come over and be like,
Yeah.
"You want me to kick her out?" And I'm like, "No, you're good." Like, I love that about Lou.
Yeah, he's more of a protector.
Yeah.
With Rick, he's more like a defend. Like Rick, if he steps up and it's a problem, that problem's not
Offensive.
de-escalating. Yeah,
It's an offensive
yeah.
versus defensive.
Lewis
type of
is
vibe.
defensive as fuck. Like
Yeah.
they both are complete opposites, and then I just find bits of each of them that I just
See, for
make
me,
that make me.
like for my uncles, like D, you know D, you know my uncle D. He's probably the only one I'm like actually close to. Like my uncle TT,
How much older is D?
he's gonna be mad when I say it. He's like 17 years older than
Get
me.
the fuck.
Yeah, he looks
Black
so young.
don't
Bro,
crack.
he looks so
Sorry,
young.
John.
Hey,
Jesus.
Hey,
I thought he was like 2-3 years older than
Nah,
us.
bro, he's literally like 47, 45, 47. He's up there. Yeah, bro, and he looks amazing.
And he
And he pulls bitches.
Yeah, like
It's
he's
so
one
annoying.
of us.
It's so annoying because I'll be talking to a girl,
Bro, his odds
I
are
told
just
you this
as
button was
good.
gonna come in handy.
His odds are just as good.
So him and I have a really close relationship because him and I are very synonymous. Like ever since the day I met, like he was also, not to expose him or anything, but he was also, and he'll talk about himself, but he was also locked away for 12, 15 years.
Yeah.
And him and I just, everyone says the same thing. Like you guys, it's like Dan too. He was like, your personalities are the same. You both love music. So him and I have always gelled, and he's always been really real with me and like inspired me and pushed me. And so I'm super grateful for that relationship because I don't really have a relationship with the rest of my uncles. Like my family, even though we were really, really close when I was young, like we're not as close as I wish we were, like are. And so like my uncle TT, he's a certified chef. He has his degree. He's an amazing chef.
Yeah.
But he's married. He's got his own life going on. My uncle Little Bit, he was locked up for 16 years and Little Bit. Yeah, his name's Jansen, but we call him Little Bit. He's the next under my dad. And I won't go into the whole family feud thing, but there's just disconnect from the family with him. And then I just have my auntie Daytree. And so I love my auntie Daytree. She just happens to be very religious, and my family is, as you know, is not very religious. Yeah. And so there's not like when I'm coming around Uncle Rick, like you know, I call him Uncle Rick. I call Lou Uncle Lou. Like so I like being able, and I tell people this all the time. Like I love my family to death, but my friends are my family. Yeah. And so like I really lean on my friends and their family sometimes to be my family. And so I love Rick, dude.
Man, my grandma would have loved you. I wish you could have met her. Like she had all of us just in one. She was like the head of the table for real. Like she was the kind gangster fucking we get it done by any means. Don't take no bullshit. Like, she'll call you a bitch out of, like, if you doing some bitch-ass shit, she won't hesitate. But she was so fucking just kind and just cared and, like, cool, too. Like, we could talk about fucking anything. Like, she was the dopest person ever. Like,
I wish I really,
yeah. She
that reminds me of, like, the lead, like, the role that my dad takes. Like, my dad taught me at a very young age. He was like, let me tell you something. He was like, in life, you're always going to be a villain in someone's story. It doesn't matter. Yeah. It doesn't matter how nice you try to be. It doesn't matter how much you love them or care for them. At some point, if you truly, truly love them, at one point in time, you're going to be the villain in their story. And it might take them years, decades, for them to realize that you always had their best interests at heart. And that took a long time for me to understand about him, is that through any means necessary, even if it's just to spite him, to succeed, he will do what it takes to push 100% out of you. But he's loving. I mean, he's about to adopt 2 more kids, and he's 50-something. I'm like, nigga, stop, bro. Like, please go go on a vacation, bro. You run a whole food truck business. Now you're opening your second food truck. You take care of both of my nephews. You take care of your mom. You have a house. You have a business. Like, go take a vacation. Now you're about to adopt 2 more kids, and it's not even his grandkids. It's my cousin's kids, and I won't go into spreading out that bullshit, but like I had to like really sit down and like talk to him and be like, Dad,
help me understand this.
Before you do this, I can't stop you. I know I'm not dumb enough to think that I can stop you, but before you do this, live. And he literally told me, he's like, this is me living. He's like, it's my job as the head of this family to take care of this family. He was like, and I enjoy doing it. So and so it like for me it's like I don't understand it, but at the same time I respect the fuck out of it. And so it's family is a crazy concept.
Yeah, it is.
Because it's a lot of love, a lot of hate, and sometimes you choose your family, sometimes you don't.
And that's one thing I think I'm very grateful of is I've never ever experienced any hate within my family.
Really?
Never? It's always been love. Like
never
there was
been
a little me and my mom were disconnected for a long time. Like we were definitely, it's weird. We're more rivals than a mother-son relationship. Like I went and got my degree and I was on like the dean's list and super proud of it. And then she went to school and got her degree and shit. I'm like, hold on, let me have that. Like,
that's it though. Maybe she's inspired by it. Like,
and that's probably what it is. But then, like, when I turned 14, I was like, all right, you doing your mom thing, and you got Jacob and Alicia to take care of. Let me live on my own, and I'm gonna do this, that, and the third. And like, it wasn't even a let me make you proud. It was like, let me take the load off of you. Like we had this friendship kind of bond. It was never a mother-son thing. It was like my grandma always seemed like my mom because my mom was always working because she had to provide. So she had me when she was 14. So, but she finished high school and had a job. So I'm with my grandma all day, and then my mom comes home, and like something that's kind of messed up that it took me like till my grandma passed to realize is like I would do bad shit as a kid. And me and my grandma were just so tight, and like that was like my best friend, like everything to me. But when I do the bad shit, she'd wait till my mom comes home, who I haven't seen all day, and then she'd tell my mom he did this, that, and that, and then my mom would whoop me. So as a child, I'm like, I don't even, Well, I didn't even think she was snitching. All I remember is my mom whooping me. And like that was our relationship. Is she's the disciplinary.
Do you think now it's because your grandma wanted to make sure that she had that
bond, that relationship?
Well, that relationship of like, because I fully believe this because my mom and my dad were the same way. Yeah, there's always always has to be a villain and there always has to be a hero.
Yep.
So, and that just helps
My
a man.
grandma
I
was
can't
definitely
speak on
my
how-
hero.
I can't speak on how it is to raise a young woman,
Yeah.
but for me, my dad was like my villain, you know,
Yeah.
and my mom was my hero. And now
Yep.
that I'm older, I understand what my dad did.
Yep. That's
was
what it
it was necessary.
a necessary evil.
And you speak on your mom, like my mom had me when she was 15.
Yeah.
I was the first biracial kid in my whole white family.
Yeah.
And so I told you about this, but my great grandfather was in the Black Panthers. My white grandfather was a wizard in the KKK.
Oh shit.
And so I was he's so racist.
Damn.
He's not anymore. He's not anymore.
But
he loves
and
me
you
now.
told me he didn't treat you any different, right?
Oh no, he did.
Oh.
And so my mom snapped and like tried to hit him with a truck, and then
Okay.
Damn.
he thought that, and then he knew that shit was real.
Yeah.
And you know, like it like I agree. Like me and my mom, like we really had like a friendship relationship.
Yeah.
Like even to this
My mom
day.
would come outside, play football, like roller skate. Like she would like literally play with us and have fun.
Yeah.
So, but that in my mind at a young age created a friendship bond.
And
It
so
was never a.
it was easy to cross the line.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So like even with my mom, like yeah, same thing. Like with my mom, like knowing what my mom and my dad went through, being old enough to see it everything
Yeah.
firsthand, it made me really distant from my dad.
Yeah.
And you know, learning about my past and how like, you know, I don't look black, and so
Right.
like my black family, it took them a while for them to understand that I am my dad's son,
Yeah.
and so it was an adjustment period for me to be like, it was a bigger blessing than anything for my cousins to move in, because then I had no choice but to get close to my black side of my family.
Right.
Whereas before that, I was only close with my white family.
Yeah.
And so it was a strange dynamic, because even though I loved my mom very much and I never wanted to hurt her, it felt easier for me to disrespect her
Mm-hmm.
because I'd not never looked at her, but I didn't really see her as a parent, more of just like a caretaker.
Yep. So, and I have to say the same thing. I disrespected my mom so much. So, like, this is my public apology
Same.
because
I
I
love
didn't.
you,
I
mama.
just, I love the hell out of my mom, and I just, I didn't understand our relationship and dynamic. And like I said, like she was the disciplinary, and like it felt more when she was being the disciplinary to me. It felt more like a bully than a mom trying to teach her son the right way.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're bigger than me, so you whoop me. But like and not only is it a young mom trying to figure out
Her
how to
own life.
parent, but it's also somebody that's struggling, and then that's kind of the dynamic that was created between, you know, my grandma and her. So like when we moved from Chicago to Iowa, like I was heartbroken. Like I resented my mom for moving us away from my grandma. Like, why are we
Wow.
going to stupid ass Iowa,
Yeah.
country ass? Like before then in Chicago and the South Side low end, I've never even seen a white person.
Yeah.
I moved to Iowa. I am the only black person in my class. We lived in Washington, Iowa. I was the only black person in that fucking school. So the dynamic was so
I'm sorry.
fucking different.
It may have been poor timing.
Hit
It
the
was still
cricket.
great
Hit
timing.
the
I
cricket
was a
button.
city boy.
We don't even have it anymore.
No.
So, you know, for a while, like I like resented my mom. My stepdad, Jacob and Alicia's dad, we were cool. I looked at him as a friend as well. And by the time I finally just accepted him as a dad, they had split up. So shit just got weird.
See, I had the opposite. So like my parents, you talk about how like your mom took you away from your grandmother.
Yeah.
My mom left us. So
Yeah.
like my mom, and you know, like in that moment in time, you're a child, you're being left with, like you said, you're bullied. Like I looked at my father as like, this motherfucker just whoops
Yeah.
my ass.
Yeah,
And he's
that's
just
all
mad
you
at me
do.
all the time.
Do you even like me?
Yeah. And so like when she left us, you know, back then in my young mind, I'm like, why didn't you take us with you?
Yeah.
What was going like?
Yeah.
What were we not good enough? Were we too much
Yeah.
of a hassle? And so I don't want to tell the story because it's really fucking sad, but I will. On the first time my mom left, she took everybody else to school, and I'm still downstairs getting ready, and I'm trying to rush because I'm like, oh fuck, I'm gonna miss my ride. she pulls off, right, but before she pulls off, I'm coming up to the van. She's like, just wait right here. I'll come back and get you. There's not enough room. There's always been enough room in the van. We've always made room. Laps, laying down, whatever it takes.
We'll figure it out.
She comes back. I'm waiting outside because I don't want to get my ass whooped. I'm waiting outside. She pulls up. I hop in the car. She's like, you can hop in the front seat. I'm in the front seat. She just starts bawling, crying.
How old are you then?
I think I'm in like 5th grade.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are you crying? She's like, it's fine. I'm just happy that you're here with me. She pulls off. She goes to the school. I'm about to hop out. She like grabs my arm. She's like, hey, you know I love you. I'm like, yeah, of course. She's like, I love you too. She's like, no, just know that I truly love you.
Yeah.
And I hop out of the car. She's bawling, crying.
Yeah.
And I didn't see my mom again for like 3-4 months.
Shit.
And it was the hardest thing in the world to come home and be like, hey, where's mom at?
Yeah.
And, your dad's like, oh, that heifer left us. Yeah, woo.
Yeah, he mad.
Yeah, he's mad.
Ain't no
he's hurt.
softening.
And he's hurt. And
yeah.
as a man, when you're
you
hurt.
understand that when we hurt, we deal with it with anger.
Yeah.
And it's not a.
And now you got all these fucking kids.
Yep.
And you're like, fuck, what am I going to do? And even though my dad didn't treat my mom the best, like, he's still a young man at this point.
We're still learning.
Yeah, they're both still learning and growing. And so when my mom left, it was like a piece of me left.
Yeah.
And then she came back, and then she left again.
Yeah.
And so then more and more of me was gone.
Yeah.
And to the point where at some point I just became so independent and separate from my family that everything else to me was like, I don't need anybody else.
Yeah.
Now I don't need to be around my dad. I don't need to be around my cousins. I don't need to be I put myself in every program I could, football, basketball, show choir, something that would keep me from home till 10 p.m.
Yeah.
And then I come home at 10 p.m., I do my homework, and I fall asleep, and I do the same thing 5 days a week because to me, there was nothing left. Like, there was like, I love my brothers. And I call my cousins my brothers. Those are my brothers. Yeah. I love my sisters, but now I'm so independent. I've separated myself so far. Yep. Very similar to how you moved out.
Yep.
That I don't connect anymore with I didn't connect that much with my family. Yeah. And so it's one of those things where it's like, am I grateful? Do I get it now? Absolutely. Yeah. You're in a relationship where it's just not working, and it's probably one of the most hardest things she's ever had to experience is just leaving your kids. Yeah. But when you need to escape from something and to better yourself and to give yourself an opportunity to be a better woman and a better mother, I totally understand
it now.
And I love her, and it
takes a long time.
And it does, dude. And I'm grateful to her to the fact that because that taught me that I can leave. I can go somewhere else and find myself somewhere else. Yeah. And so that led all the way up to me moving to Missouri and California. And
see, now I got to do a flash forward and a backwards thing because when I had Naya, me and Naya's mom were together for I think 7 or 8 years before we finally called it off. But only, I would say, 5 of those years were good years. We knew the last 2 years were bad, but I'm like, we have to make this work for the kid, and we're married, and we did this under God. We can't just call it quits at any point. So when she left and we didn't get back together, I was like, motherfucker, we could have did that? I didn't know that was even an option. And in my mind, it wasn't an option. We just sit here and be miserable for the kid. And, I'm just so much more happier, an actual fucking person now that we're separate. But before that, my life was, how do I make her happy? How do I make her kids happy? And then hopefully I have some time for Naya. Now my life is what makes Naya happy? What makes me happy? Let's do that. Let's just do it. We don't have to report. We don't have to debate. We just do what makes us happy. Yep. But in my head, in that marriage was, honestly, it's probably because I grew up, and I'll get to that, so this is where I'll have to travel backwards, is I grew up with just my mom and without a father till I was 14. And then when I was 14, there was no mom or dad. So I was like, I can't let Naya grow up that way. I refuse. But I'm honestly appreciative. So now this is us jumping back and forth. But so 14, till I was old enough to buy a house. Well, we were renting a house, but I rented a big ass house and moved my mom, and then we moved to Atlanta with this dude she was dating that I didn't like when I was 14. And at that point, my next siblings, we'll call this episode siblings. We're not even going to get to Tempe. This is too deep and too good. Yeah. So my new siblings at 14 was Chuck, Zaya, Jarrell, and my father was Anthony,
had a dude
my
named
producer.
Jarrell too?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Jarrell Robinson, he ran for mayor at one point.
That's wild.
Close, like I think we're born the same year. And
I see him running up and down the.
yeah, he
block
run.
every now and
He's like one of my. I would never admit this
Bro,
to
you
him in
said that
person.
like he
No,
was a
I mean
crackhead.
like
okay.
like
No,
jogging.
jogging.
Like a
Yeah.
Jogging.
Like,
He's such a
I've
good
seen
dude,
that
man.
motherfucker.
But he's one of those dudes that's just when you meet him, he's inspirational and really inspiring. Like I have to get him in here at some point, and he actually sings, and he's just a great person. And they, at least Jarrell, I'll say, became my big brother. Me, Chuck, Zaya, we're all the same age within a month apart. So we were rivals, but we were brothers that just had each other's back like no other. Like Chuck moved me in with him and his mom and his sisters, and Zaya's the one that really pushed me to do the music. Jarrell introduced me to Anthony, who was producing and had a studio, and then Anthony was just like the father of the group, and he was like 10, 15 years older than us, and really keeping us out of the streets and doing music and staying positive. And if you meet him, he's not a positive person, like at all. He knows he's not. He's the most gangster, don't give a fuck, will say whatever the fuck is on his mind at any given moment. But I don't know what it is, but it's something about him that just, you can just feel he's got such a good heart. He's always been about his family and providing for not only his kids, his wife, but also providing for us and giving us that safe space.
Wow.
And giving us something positive to focus on.
That's so rare too, and not just, I don't want to just say in a black man's life or a black kid's life, but it really is.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to feel safe and be yourself
Yep.
in a black kid's life is so rare, because immediately in most homes you're either raised by a single mother or you're raised in a single household, and so
Yep.
you have to grow up so fast.
Yep.
And at one point your childhood is gone by
Yep.
12, 14.
Yep.
And so to be able to have that moment of being able to be like, I have a mentor, I have someone I could, and I have my brothers, and I have my, and that circles back to what I was saying, that your friends become your family.
Yeah.
And
These are my family.
Yeah.
And the other ironic thing about, us all being the same age, we all didn't have a dad in the home. We raised each other outside of the principles that Anthony taught us, but he wasn't sitting there talking like, these are the principles you need to follow. It was just example, leading by example, and he put no focus on the fact that he worked fucking 12, 14-hour days, come home, spend some time with his family, and then tell us we can come record for the next 4 or 5 hours, and then repeat it every single fucking day. Like, it was just me noticing, and like it was literally one day, and like when you meet him, it's like he's not a positive person. But I told him, like, motherfucker, did I just realize you're a positive fucking influence?
It's like that video where it's like,
Like,
when a
out of
toddler
nowhere.
becomes conscious, you're like,
Yeah,
"Ooh."
I became conscious and realized you're a really fucking positive, great fucking human being. One of the greatest human beings I've ever, like, you've been helping us so much develop this music and tell us how we need to do the business side of things and how we can't just record it. We need to also find someone to do the album cover. We need to also be in the streets, and we need to market and pitch, and we need to build a website, and we need to shoot the video and edit it, and you can do it. You can edit this. You can learn that. You can learn everything, and because of him, I'm the entrepreneur that I am today. I would have none of those if it wasn't for Anthony Teague. Shout out to him.
I had that same moment with my dad, where it was like,
Yeah, because you went from thinking like, damn, nigga, you just disciplined
out
me,
here
you whoop
just-
me, just whooping ass.
just whooping ass, taking care of all these fucking kids. You're not, you're not giving me the attention I need. You're not showing me, and then showing me the love that I need. And then boom, one day I'm like, All of this was super necessary.
All this was to get me
All
here.
of this was to push me to this point of where
Yep.
I can be independent. I can do all the things that I'm doing right now
Yep.
because of what my dad taught me. And he
Yep.
continues to do it. He continues to teach me. And through his business and still taking care of his mom and
Yep.
all the things that he's doing, it's like he could easily be like, fuck this food truck business. Let me sell it.
Yeah.
Fuck taking care of my mom. I got 2-3 other
About to
siblings.
Go on an island and
Fuck
fucking
yeah, I could turn my back, excuse me, and do all the things that I really want to do.
Yep.
But it's an amazing moment for a young man to realize that everything that's been a part of your journey, if you let it make you, it will make the best out of you.
Yep.
If you let it break you,
It'll break the fuck
break
out.
the fuck out of you. And so it's like,
There's a clip for you, Chop Piece.
Yeah.
Let it make you.
because it's real. Because
Let
it's
it break you.
like two things I get from my parents always. Like I always get this wild, adventurous, on the whim side from my mom, but then I get this very like disciplined, like understanding business perspective on everything from my father. And so when I combine them, it creates the mindset that I have now, where it's like, yeah, I'll love the fuck out of you, but if you fuck with my money and my business, now we got a problem. And on the opposite end, I will bring you into my business if I love and care for you and I see your potential.
Yep.
If you don't see it for yourself, I'm gonna put my hand on your back and push you.
Yep.
I won't shove you, I won't throw you, but I'll nudge you enough until you start seeing it for yourself.
Yep.
Until you give me a reason not to, until you tell me I'll wash my hands of it. When you give me that reason, I wash my hands of it, you won't hear from me again. Because there's one thing my dad's always told me, you can give all you want to somebody, but if they don't want it, they won't take it. So give it to someone who wants it.
Yep.
All this time and energy you're wasting on people that don't want this, that doesn't matter how much potential, they could be 10 times better than this person at this. If they don't fucking want it, they won't take it.
Yep.
So give that energy and that time to the person that wants it, and they'll work their ass off for it.
Yep.
They'll run away with that shit, and next thing you know, they're past you doing the shit that you taught them to do.
Yep.
And that's fulfillment. That's when you
Yes.
realize that you're doing the right shit.
That
And
is
I learned a lot of that
purpose.
from you. And that's what I was just going to say. You were telling me the other day, like, that's your purpose. Your
Yep.
purpose is to make sure everyone in your camp is doing better, or if not, like, more than you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's an amazing mindset to have. That's a rare mindset to have, because a lot of people nowadays
They'll
don't
put
wanna
their-
see
their
you.
foot on you.
Yeah.
They don't want you
They'll
to exceed.
They'll gatekeep.
Yep.
They'll
Yep.
hold back.
Yep.
They'll misinform.
Yep.
Just to make sure you're just
Never ahead of them.
just a
right underneath
little
them.
bit behind.
You're as useful as they need you to be, and I
Yep.
want everybody around me to be way more useful than me. I want to be
Amen.
able to pull them for resources that they have and help lift me up, because if you're just one person, like, what happens if you die with the knowledge? Like, that's trash.
That's
bro.
trash as
Like,
For
I
real.
want to leave a legacy. I want everybody to eat and help their families. Like, one of the most important things to me is, like, at one point you'll have grandkids,
Yep.
and I would love for them to be able to say, well, Grandpa T, he always thanks this one guy that introduced him to this guy, and that's why we live this way. And I just wanted to
Yeah.
be the person that, he passed you along to the right person that
Right.
provided for your next generations.
Yeah,
Like,
well, and then when you have that mindset, and you like you said, when you raise your kids and your grandkids in that mindset, that creative incubator of
Yeah.
love and pushing people forward, it only builds your legacy.
exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, you can have however many plaques you want, you can sell how
Yeah.
many records you want, you can be as popular as you want.
Yeah.
Your legacy is based off of your
You
next.
being a trash individual.
Yeah, if your legacy ain't shit, you can build this company to multi-billions. You might as well sell that bitch if no one fucks with you.
Exactly.
Like, because what's your legacy gonna be about? Yeah, he had all this money, and yeah, he did all these things, but
he
no one.
fucked over
Yeah,
everybody in the
and he
city.
has no one to carry
He
his
did
crown.
nothing for nonprofit organizations.
No
He
one's
did
gonna
not-
take his throne.
Yeah.
Like that shit's trash to me, bro.
Why even do it?
That's not what life is about
No.
for me. Like,
Give back. Like,
and like circling back to family, like, bro, like, I love my family.
Yeah.
I love my family to death. And what my dad is doing is building a legacy. He started a business from nothing. We had a tent 2 hot dog warmers and a table, and now he's about to open his second food truck. And all he wants, bro, is to pass it on to somebody, so that way, keeping up with the Joneses can grow and keep growing until there's a fleet of fucking trucks. Until all over the nation, it's a franchise.
Till they can't keep up with the motherfucking Joneses.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure you have the same thing with T1. Like, you want to build that up until Nye is a fucking CFO of a multi-billion-dollar corporation, entertainment corporation, and she's just, and that's legacy. That's what a fucking legacy is. That's the beautiful part of life, is giving it back. So that the next generation can have more than enough to give back.
On the selfless promoter side, I don't want to be hosting Iowa Summer Jam 11 and 12. Like, I don't need to be doing Iowa Music Awards 2034. Like, I'm creating this to hand it off to somebody that can do something greater with it, but also give people purpose and motivate them to do something better and feel accomplished because we weren't awarded for the hard fucking work we put in. You know, like, so I want to build something that builds a community that makes us all better, but I don't need to have myself, my name, or anything else attached besides people that work hard and try to do the best for
that's the most amazing part about the IMAs that you've done, is like, you made people realize in Iowa that, damn, we actually can do this. Like, we actually have enough talent and art and people here to do this.
So many people try to say Iowa's not ready. Why would you say that? Let's get them ready.
Why can't we be ready? We're in the heart of the country. You don't think we have enough talent, enough influence here?
Go look at that wall by itself. Like, there's a lot of fucking talent just in this area.
So many, dude. You hear the different styles and the different types of art, and the collaborations start working and mixing together, and the next thing you know, there's a whole new sound. And you're like, fuck, dude. How many years have we just been looking past ourselves to go out somewhere else to get what we have right fucking here? And I think that's the best part about the IMAs, is like, motherfuckers are finally like, and now they're hungry. And that's the best part about, like, being, like, if you're truly a beast that like what you do, that hunger of what you do, not winning something will literally create like a fucking starvation of you being like, oh, I'm gonna make sure my city's heard next year. Oh, I'm gonna make sure I'm heard. Like, this album, this song, this collaboration, it's gonna be heard this fucking year. And I fucking love that part about the IMAs.
We need that.
We had it, and you're the one to fucking show everybody. It's been here.
Yeah, cheers, man.
Lim, cheers. Is that a peach one or a grapefruit? Your favorite. Look at you.
Grapefruit, bro.
Your favorite.
Grapefruit.
Grapefruit.
But I was to circle back on some of that, like, leaving a legacy. It's funny because a client of mine and I earlier were talking about something that I want to do, and that is, I want to eventually get to a space where I can teach and grow new engineers and get them to a point where, so I go through all the basics, I build the curriculum, and at the very end of it, the sound box would pay for their Pro Tools certification. So that'd be like the capstone of it is like, you get your Pro Tools certification. So I want to just be pumping out brand new engineers out of this place.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And then they're in different cities, and boom, boom, boom. Now they're changing the Iowa sound and being there, and that's and that's the domino effect, right? It's like, you build something that, like you said earlier, the foundation of something, and then next thing you know, it's building, and now it's a fucking skyscraper, and the person at the top is thinking about, fuck the building, now we need to buy land. Now we need to build.
So what's so dope?
A compound,
What's so dope about this conversation, and at this point, it's become a theme that I try to wrap everything full circle. It's all got to make sense. So, like, literally, words that you're using is a part of this story of siblings, which became its own episode. That's crazy how that just happened.
Yeah.
But the guys that I mentioned that are like, went from friends to they are my brothers, Chuck, Jarrell, Zaya, Anthony, growing, we were the artist Big Bang, and now we've created the Big Bang Foundation.
Dope.
Which is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. They've been teaching sports, basketball, football, opening schools after dark, giving kids like a place to go to just be themselves, but a safe environment, and really giving back to the community. Chuck recently, a few weeks ago, opened up his own gym, which allows kids to not only practice sports, but I'll be playing music out of there for them to celebrate and have fun and just really like just be in a better environment than just running the streets endlessly with no
amazing.
purpose or nothing or nowhere to go.
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that one.
That was creepy.
Did not mean to hit that one.
hell?
But I really feel like it really, all this stems from Anthony taking a chance on these young teenagers and helping us. And then now we have this sense of duty that we have to give back.
Right.
And then we have our own kids. Like at one point, like again, I talk about like how I'm not athletically inclined or anything, but at one point after like all the like murders and shit of black people for no fucking reason, I got compelled that and we had met with like the chief of police, and we came to a conclusion that change only comes from inside.
Yeah,
inside the community, inside
absolutely.
you know the positions of power. So I actually applied to be a cop, and I'll be honest, I've always hate cops.
Damn.
I don't think that'll ever change, but
What
I
did you
felt
say?
I had my daughter, and I was thinking about her as a teenager and the experiences that I've had. Like my first gun was pulled out on me by a cop when I was like 16 years old, and I don't want that experience for my daughter. And we don't have cops that look like us that we can know that isn't just gonna shoot us because they're nervous or
So my
think
que-
it was a taser or some shit like that.
So my question to you would be, why be a cop instead of running for council or running for mayor?
Because the cop's the one with the gun that'll shoot you.
Yeah, but that being one cop, one soldier in the middle of an army is not going to infiltrate as much as being a general.
Somebody can change
I don't
policy.
feel
Policy.
I don't. You have to be on the field. The soldier's the one who makes the call. The soldier will end the lives. The soldier is the one that his compadres, his partners are going to have his back so he could do some dirty shit.
So my argument to that would be, if you became, instead of becoming just one singular cop that would only have one partner and be able to cruise with that one person, why not be a council member that implements a program where we get more African-American police officers here, where we do a pool or a draft from all these other cities, where we have the programs and the housing and the funding to get more African-American or people of color in our police department.
Because that's it, to me, that feels like the same as blaming the president for when bad things happen. Bad things start with the individual.
Well,
Like if somebody is
you're right.
trigger happy, like I'd rather be a black cop with a white partner that might be trigger happy, that I can tell, hey, don't end this kid's life.
So-
I'm right there on the front line versus
But that's
behind the
one-
scenes.
on
trying to
that
implement
point
something.
though,
that one life matters, whether
Yeah,
it's
of
one
course.
Absolutely.
situation.
Yeah, of course.
but on that point though, what Tevin is kind of saying here is, so if every single cop is taught the same exact thing because that is the policy, which, for example, there is a sheriff out of somewhere in Gretna, I believe, Nebraska, that was on my dad. He was a Schwann's man.
Yeah.
So he was on his route and he was talking to him about like what police are trained to do and what sheriffs are trained to do.
Yeah.
And they're literally in their training taught to dump their fucking magazines.
Right.
Like if it's a life or death situation, whatever, or if they feel threatened, it's
Yeah.
all fucking 14 of them. Whatever, however many. A Glock 22 Gen 4 has 14 in the mag.
Right.
So all 14 are coming at you if you feel threatened.
Yeah.
Like
So
don't train them to do that.
I feel that, like, let's fix the policy, but I'm so concerned about every situation. If I can stop one bad situation,
Absolutely.
that matters, because a policy will help a lot of situations. But that one bad apple is still going to be there, and no matter what the policy is, what the training is,
fair.
there will be somebody. So I'd rather be standing next to the bad apple and prevent them from doing something that ends a life or scars somebody for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
Than trying to implement policies that I feel like the country is already built on so many negative situations. Like, just we're already institutionalized, and it really is a shitty.
The only reason I
Circumstance,
would disagree is because I'm a person with a past, right? Like I have charges. I can't run for council. I can't run for these things.
Yeah.
And so talking to someone who
You got a felony?
can,
I mean, that's personal, but
talking to someone who
We'll
can.
move on.
Damn, Lim.
sorry.
Delete that fucking
Are you producing
guy.
or-
Are you?
Sorry.
Come on in, we got him. What the fuck, bro?
Well, if it's art, I can look it up.
That's great. I'm glad you can, man. Jesus.
Yeah.
So, coming from my perspective, who wants the same change? Like, I feel what you're saying. You know what I mean? But like, to me, someone who can't take that position of power, like, it would mean more to me as a young black man if I was in my if I was still in high school and my police chief was a black man who was changing policies where we were integrating more partnerships, like you're saying, where there's one black cop, there's one white cop, one Hispanic cop, one white cop, where we're mixing people of color with partners that are white. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would mean more to me. Now I have a hero that I see. It's just like Barack Obama. You don't think a black man could ever be the president until you see a black man become a president. Yeah. And so seeing a black cop, you're like, oh, that nigga, Tom ass nigga, like, yeah, he's probably still gonna pull me over. He's probably gonna show out for the white cop. Yeah. You know, even though you have that one instance where you might save a life, because a trigger happy cop is gonna be trigger happy regardless. Like, a bad apple is gonna be a bad apple regardless.
We can do something to try to prevent it.
But
there's nothing happening.
There's that's one situation. And I'm not saying that one life doesn't matter.
No.
But if there's there's an opportunity where you can take a position of power that can change the whole picture instead of changing one little number on the number painting. Yeah. That to me means a lot more.
Right.
Okay. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't disagree with you that having a mixed partnerships, that should be a thing regardless in America. There should never be black and black partners. There should be never white and white partners, Hispanic and Hispanic, regardless. There's too many police officers. There's too many people that are in this job, which doesn't have enough training, which doesn't have enough education in general. You know what I'm saying? That it should ever be that way. Yeah. And so, like, I get what you're saying. I respect that. I think, you know, even if you affect one life, of course that's important. Right. But if you can affect many lives, that's a bigger picture that I see.
And you know, maybe that's in the cards down the line. I think the way that I've always thought of things, like even like CEO of T1 Entertainment, like, in order to take a title of CEO, I feel like you should have done every position. You should have been in the streets. Yeah. You should have been on the field. You should have done all the training before you try to implement your own and try to tell people this is how you should do it.
Like,
but you've never experienced it. You work
chief
your way up. You got to start on the street level so you can relate.
I would agree with that if it was fucking Burger King, Taco Bell, and McDonald's. But we're talking about a grander picture. To me, like, there's just some people don't have the education, the vision, or the understanding of human nature, of human beings, to work their way up through something. Sometimes there literally needs to be somebody. And I'm not saying you skip steps. I'm not saying you go from being a fucking mall cop to being chief of police by any means. But if you can be somebody like you, who's run a company that's been around for 5+ years, who's been a pillar in the community, who's changed the lives of multiple people, who has a backing and a following, who has the influence and the platform to change people's lives. Yeah. That to me is the groundwork. Right. That is the thing that people are missing nowadays, is because the human part of these politicians, these greedy motherfuckers that are just taking money, that's the part that's missing. And I think a person like you has that human part. To me, that's what's missing, is the humanity part. These motherfuckers that are making 6 figures and plus millions of dollars in these positions, that they don't even shake hands with people who are.
They don't know what it's like.
They don't know what it's like.
No.
And you have that experience. Right. I just heard it 30 minutes ago on this podcast. Yeah. So to me, that's the part that I think is the experience. It's not about being on the street, being in the field. Like, yeah, of course, that having that insight, of course it helps. Yeah. I'll never take that away from that. But having the human part of the experience is the most important part.
Have a bigger impact.
Yeah. I'm so sorry.
I
y'all.
respect that. This
Y'all
is
gonna
good.
kill me.
You gotta pee.
I gotta pee like a motherfucker.
I've
dog.
been cold. We gonna take a break and then we gotta do the intro.
We still haven't even
Done the intro
Can
yet.
we just piece that in?
We gotta do it. We gotta do
damn
it.
it.
I will lighten the mood when you come back. 'Cause
All
I
right,
gotta
I'll
talk
be right
about my
back.
other siblings that my long ass story ain't got to yet. We gonna take a break. He gotta take a shit.
I was not taking a shit this
TNT.
time.
We'll be right back. I'm taking a shit.
I'm not taking
Shitty
a shit.
booty ass. Shitty
I'm
booty
not
ass.
taking a shit. We're doing mid-show intro.
Mid-show intro.
God damn it.
And we're back.
And in 3, 2, 1.
Uh-huh. Let's get it. I told you. Let's get it.
Titties and tortas.
Torta.
Tortas like vagina, but with a T. Tone and Tevin. Tevin and Tone.
Let's go.
Dynamite, y'all.
TNT motherfuckers.
TNT
motherfuckers. TNT motherfuckers.
Mid-show intro.
TNT motherfuckers.
Mid-show intro.
TNT motherfuckers.
Mid-show intro.
You did a rap today in the booth.
I did do a rap.
How was that for you?
That was nerve-wracking, bro.
Yeah. Did you get a new appreciation for rap?
I really, truly did.
I was like, you're going to learn today.
Bro, like, I haven't been that nervous.
I put Tevin through the ringer today.
Bro,
Hey, redo that.
I
It's
was
fun
like,
to get nervous about something.
I was nervous as fuck, dog. I was like, damn, maybe this is going to be whack. I was like, Tone and Lim would tell me, right?
Yeah.
Right? Like, please don't. I'm gonna listen to the song when it's all done, and my verse is just not in there.
Hey, if I was getting paid for it, I would tell you.
Damn.
I'm just kidding.
I pay them. I don't pay them.
I'm playing. It was dope. It was dope.
It was dope. Please tell me it was dope. I'm getting
It
very
was.
self-conscious.
Play it
Hey,
for
hey.
your uncle that said your verse on Sunday Vibes was whack.
The one in Germany, that's one of the biggest DJs
Yes.
that
That's
worked
the
with
most
Beyonce
important
and Quincy
opinion.
Jones and
The most important
okay, yeah,
opinion
send
you
it to
can
him.
get. Yeah.
yeah,
And if he says it's whack, we redo it. And if he says, well done,
Excellent.
he's gonna be like,
you made it.
how many times I gotta tell you, you ain't no fucking rapper. I just want to tell you ain't no fucking rapper.
Oh man. So
Nah,
before
it was
we got off on the cop situation,
Sorry, I really had
Yeah,
to
that
pee.
just-
that was
that
four,
came out of y'all
4 or
weren't
5
ready.
drinks.
Y'all
deep.
weren't ready. He was like,
That one hit.
I eject. What the fuck? I didn't submit.
I don't like it. Go bigger.
The fuck was that? Siblings. So yeah, the Big Bang Foundation consists of my brothers, but we were brothers from. I mean, we're still brothers, but since the age of 14 is when I met all those guys. So about 20 years ago, but about God, how many years now? Almost 9 years ago. So I grew up with just my mom, my grandma, and all them. Never knew who my dad was. And my Big Bang buddies would always ask me, like, you going to ask her about your dad? You got to ask her. And there was like maybe 4 times in my whole life of I asked. I hope I say that word right. Asked.
Asked.
I struggle
Said
with
it black
asked.
enough.
A-S-K-E-D.
Y'all know what I mean.
Asked.
Somebody left a comment. Fucking YouTubers. It got to me. Like,
Axed.
Yeah,
He
don't
said
ask
axed.
me anything.
He said axed.
You know what it is.
I requested the information from my mother about my father about 4 times. I was hoping that was white enough. Sorry, John.
It passed.
What did he say?
But I asked her about 4 different times throughout life, like when I was like 5, 9, then when I was 14, and then when I was like 18. Who is my dad? And like she'd always like burst into tears and like not tell me the story.
That's a little bit of gaslighting, but we'll continue.
Define gaslighting.
She didn't
You said
wanna
lightning?
She didn't want to.
She
tell
said
me.
he said
We're not
lightning.
asking lightning.
I'm sorry. No more
today.
grammar.
Can I
please.
ask you if you
I'm
said
not
lightning?
Thor with an axe that commands lightning.
I'm just feeling, I did
Gaslighting.
There you go, better. I just feel like that's like a never mind.
I blame High Noon.
I love you, Mom. Anyways, continue your story because I feel like I'm just digging myself in a deeper hole. So I'll just stop talking.
He wants that plate.
all together.
He wants that plate. So yeah, I never got an answer until I was 26. It was my golden birthday, and Lindsay was pregnant with Naya. So it being my golden birthday, and me also needing to know if there's any genetic sicknesses.
Told you he was gonna drink them all. I told you.
An empty case of. I thought it was too many and it wasn't enough. So yeah. You guys kill my. I had a tear like prepared.
Sorry.
This
You're assholes for that.
That's my fault.
Fucking Lim.
What a producer. Better engineer
He
than
said,
he is a producer. Y'all are assholes. Drink my
This is a shout out to our sponsor, Vodka
soda grapefruit made with real juice.
Grapefruit's fire. All right, go ahead, Tone. Sorry.
26.
That's fucked up.
Asked my mom, it's my golden birthday, about to have a kid, need to know about my dad. She writes me a letter, tells me my dad's name. I look this dude up, and he looks like the coolest fucking dude ever. He's married. I don't know if he's got other kids or not, but he looks really cool. None of my family know who my dad is. Not my uncles, not my grandma, not my aunt. Nobody knew who my dad was but my mom. She had kept that secret for 26 years. And
Damn.
yeah. But
Sorry.
you know, it was a toxic relationship, and like I will say, like, I didn't understand at the time how you could keep something secret for that long until I had 2 kids of my own. And it's like, when that other partner ain't doing it for you, and it's best for you to separate yourself, and even if it's you and the kid, you have to do what you think is best. We're all, no matter how old you are, like, again, she was young, but no matter how old you are, like, I think I was close to 30 having Naya, and I'm still guessing. Parenting is guessing. Like, if you see somebody that's a good parent, they're really just a good guesser. That's all the fuck parenting is.
That's true.
So she did what she thought was best, and if for a little while I resented her for it, and then even after meeting my dad and realizing how cool he was, like, I resented her a little bit more. Like, come on, bro. Like, he could have been here the whole time.
So I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah,
did he know about you?
He knew about me.
But he wasn't allowed to talk to you.
He was forbidden.
Okay, sorry.
Forbidden.
That adds a little bit
I don't
of
understand
meat
that.
to that. That adds a little bit of meat to that. Because I was like,
how do I
damn.
define the forbidden? It's a stay the fuck away from me, my kid, and never talk to me again type of situation.
Got you.
And honestly, at his age, I believe he was about 16, 17.
Okay.
And I would have been his second kid. And he's not necessarily in a stable position. Like, he don't.
16, 17, of course. Like,
Yeah. So I've been one of those guys, oh, fuck these deadbeat dads, blah, 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 all that shit. And then it's like, I would not know what the fuck to do at 16, 17 with 2 kids.
Right.
Man. Bruh.
I didn't even
Like,
pick
I'm
prom
getting stressed just
tuxedo.
thinking about, like, that's what life is. Like, that's, so it's all, and it's shitty, but it's almost she gave him an out. And I can't blame him for taking the out. He looks at it as he respected her wishes. I look at it from my personal situations now, that if I was that age and somebody, like, I don't
Someone
know if I
gave you an
wanna-
opportunity to live your youth, to let you live the rest of your life. Yeah, you're without
it's
your,
tough.
That is
because I could never.
That's tough,
I can't
Well,
go
you
without
can't
my
even
girls,
just-
bro.
Yeah, like now as
I
you see
can't.
it,
like,
But
so
it's
it's
something
just,
you learn.
in
It's
it
such a
now,
tough
you know?
situation that I can't, even being the person, the victim in this situation,
Yeah.
I can't speak on it and say I would do this or that. No
Right.
one can until you're that person in that situation.
Hell
And I
no.
can only imagine a 16, 17-year-old with a second kid, and you already don't know what the
that's
fuck
a
to do
whole
with the
different
first.
mindset.
Yeah, so it was tough. So I met him, loved him immediately, didn't come at him aggressive. Like, there was a lot of different ways that situation could have been
You
approached
could have approached the.
on some bullshit.
Yeah.
Right.
Where the fuck? Like I didn't care. I love family so much, and I just learned that from my grandma and from us being so close. That like a new family member is a dream come true. It's not something out of anger. So meeting my dad and his wonderful wife, that just open-armed accepted me because, I reached out to his sister first. Like, hey, if he wants to meet me, cool. If he doesn't, I understand. It's whatever. And he's like, he wants to meet you. And, like, it was just son from day one. And I had these list of, like, corny questions, like nothing serious, but just finding out about him. And, like, we are so much the same. And he's so fucking cool and just such a great person to me. It's crazy.
Still in contact with him?
Yeah. This
he's cool
this
as
pop.
fuck.
Yeah.
dope.
He's
Seven's
cool as
kicked it
fuck.
with him.
Yeah.
Where's he at? Like,
He's in
is he-
Chicago.
Chicago, okay.
Yeah.
Light skin.
He's so fuck that. Light skin, bald. Goes he like the same.
Gang on gang.
Might be 10 stuff.
Well,
But,
my nigga too short to be my dad.
Whatever. My pop is super cool. Love him to death. And then the best gift after meeting him after 26 years was my 3 brothers. I had to count my additional 3 brothers. And like since a child, I always wonder were there other what do we call them? Not variations. What's Loki
Variants.
call them? Variants. Tone variants.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
And
literally what I would call
These
Q.
3 motherfuckers are tone variants.
They
like
look the same,
to
bro.
the max. Like me and my little brother Tari look exactly the same. Q's got some younger pictures that I thought was me, but like, and then Law, like the things like me and Law have the exact same sense of humor, and then me and Q have the same exact interest and like the wisdom things about me he has, but it's amplified. And then the comedy shit about me, Law is way better at. Like he's just better at everything that I do as him. Like it's the fucking dopest shit ever. And then like Tari is somebody that I just want to spend more time with because he's younger, so he's going through all the motions that I already been through.
Right.
And then when we all are together, it's like it's fucking video games, it's sports that we were never good enough to play at, but we're all equally as bad. Fucking freestyle, like it's just it was the dopest experience ever.
That's awesome, bro.
Gaining 3 brothers at 26, like my life. That was the sequel to my life. And what was cool, and I normally say, like, I preference this with, like, I don't want to take credit. I'm going to take some motherfucking credit. When I met them, they had roommates and like, apartments and shit, but then they came to Iowa and they saw, like, I had the big-ass house and I had the family and all that shit. So maybe within a year or two, Hugh buys his first home and he starts his family. Law buys his home after that and gets a better job and starts his family. And, I'm with Lindsay, Naya's mom at the time. And, they see me, like, just on top of the world. They come into Iowa and they see, like, I'm the motherfucking man here compared to what you would be in Chicago. Like, if I did the same exact thing that I do here in Chicago, still wouldn't be shit. Do that same thing in Texas, still wouldn't be shit. But what I'm doing in Iowa is such a bigger deal. And then all the people that come up to me, like, one story Q tells all the time that I love is, like, me and Tone took me to Iowa and we went to a bar, and this mom just came up damn near in tears, like, my son's messing up. You mentored him, and you were such an inspiration when you were mentoring him. What can I say to him? Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I spent probably 30 minutes just breaking down different scenarios on how to help this kid and then agreeing to reach out to him and spend more time with him. And he's like, that's just dope that's the person in your community that, like, random families would walk up to and know they can trust you, confide in you, and get the answers they're looking for. So since then, they have been on the biggest rise, like both starting their own companies and, like I said, own their houses and families. And they were at my wedding and stuff because, like, it all just happened in perfect, like, divine timing.
Yep.
And goddamn. All right. Anyway,
Don't you cry.
I can't promise I won't. So the dopest thing about them being there and seeing me at my highest peak is they got to see me and be there for me when I reached my lowest. After I lost, my wife at the time, I'm fighting to have my daughter. I don't have a working vehicle. I walked away from my 6-figure a year job and just bet it all on music and lost the house. Like, they got to see me at rock fucking bottom. They were the first to see me. Like, a week of me and my ex breaking up, I already had a flight booked to Texas. So they really saw me the week after, and this is during the pandemic too. So it was just literally the worst moment and time of my life, and then my grandma had died. Like, they got to meet my grandma. My grandma loved them, and like that was so important to me that they met her and that she loved them. And then they were there, and Tari was in Chicago at the time, so he even came to the funeral. And then my dad, she was mad at my dad when she found out who he was, because she had loved him but never knew that he was with my mom. So she was very angry with him, but then finally hugged him and stuff at my wedding and said, "I've always loved you, and I'm glad it's you and you are his father, and that what you're doing now and being there for him." So they made amends before she died, and then my dad was one of the pallbearers at her funeral with me. Wow. So like, yeah. Jeez. So like, it all really just happened when it was supposed to. But my brother seeing me, like I said, at the top of my fucking, at what I thought was my prime in my life, and then seeing me at my lowest, but not just seeing me, but being there for me. Like, I'm able to go to Texas and Kentucky, and they're coaching me through this horrible, horrible fucking breakup, and trying to have custody and be a good father and not fucking go crazy, because I would have lost my motherfucking shit. Like, one thing and I love to death about, I'll just say I love my Big Bang brothers to death, but we've never been in a position where we're comfortable about talking about emotions, love. I'm so heartbroken. We've never cried in front of each other. We don't have any of that. I got all of that and more with my brothers that I met, these years ago. Like, I'm able to literally cry and tell them, "Hey, I'm fucking up," or I'm struggling. Like, this shit is so tough, and I don't understand life right now. And they're there to pick me up, to laugh with me, to occupy my mind. And I'm just able to be my most vulnerable, honest self around these people that I didn't even know fucking existed until I was 26 years old.
Dude, that shit's so crazy, because like, I really believe that type of thing like really molded you as a man. And like, if you think about the same thing, you and I talk about this all the time about how we've been through very similar things. I didn't have my brothers, so like, I don't have my oldest two brothers. Trey's in Des Moines doing whatever he's doing. Jarrell, even though I love Jarrell to death, he's so preoccupied with his job and his career right now that I don't have. So when I went through,
he's a lone wolf.
He is.
I know that about
and my
him.
baby brother's the same way. Like, my little brother's in Cedar Falls. He has his own property. He manages a restaurant. He's individually, like, we're all doing as best as we can. But when I went through the situations I went through, where I lost, my 2 kids, and I lost my fiance, and I lost my house, and all this stuff, like, I didn't have that with my siblings. So I had that with my friends. I had that with you. I had that with, Niemer. I had that with, people I had around me that were my friends, that were my family. And so a lot of times people will say we're opposite, like, you're very, very positive, and I'm very, not negative, but
you and Silas, I'm a realist.
No,
you're a negative.
I'll say I'm a pessimist. Like, I see.
Thank you for admitting it.
I see things in a negative. I see things for the things that could be worse.
That's due to your experiences, man.
But
it typically was the worst.
Why
the fuck am I expecting?
And not having that support group where you're supposed to have it. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, you have your boys, like the Big Bang boys. Like, you guys never cried around each other. I've never cried. I can't remember the last time I cried around my brothers, ever. But I've cried in front of you before. You know what I'm saying? Like, I haven't had that. And so I think that really molds you as a man, is like not being, and even with my father, I can't remember the last time I cried in front of my dad. or if I ever even seen my dad cry ever in my life. And so like it was like hearing your experience and then realizing that, damn, I'm the complete opposite, and then hearing all the time about how we're complete opposites.
Yeah.
It's like those are those things that mold you as a young man and as a young person. Damn, now you got me feeling God damn it. And so it's like
Oh my
That
God.
goddamn lump, where did it come from?
let me drink some more. No, it's one of those things where like that vulnerability it's missing in a lot of men this day and age, where we feel like we can't open up to people and we can't.
I'm a crier, dude.
Dude, I cry. I tell people all the time, I was like, I cry in the shower. And that's a sad idea in itself, is that you feel like the darkest place in your house. You think about that. The shower curtain's pulled. You don't even get the bathroom light unless you have a light above your shower. Like, I cry where there's water already running. So you can't even if you walked in, nigga, I'm just showering. Like,
I got soap in my eye.
yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's crazy to think about how people these days, like, they feel like especially men, they feel like they can't open up. And I
Deadly,
think,
dude.
and I think this episode is very important, even though we weren't planning on it to get this way.
At all.
I think this episode is so important because it's one of those things where it's like, yes, of course, family is important, and your friends are very important, but also being able to understand that if you can find that person. And it doesn't have to be multiple people. It can just be that one person that you can feel vulnerable with. It doesn't have to be a girlfriend. It doesn't have to be your parent, your grandmother. If you just, find that one person, you know what I'm saying, that you can open up to and open yourself up to. And this especially goes out to men. You have to find that person, because if you don't and you bottle it up,
you end up exploding, or you fucking deflate.
Yep. And it's
not healthy.
It's not healthy.
People get hurt.
And understand that you're
dumb shit that you regret for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and understand you're human, bro. Like, we're all at the end of the day, we're all human beings. So allow yourself to be fucking human. It doesn't matter. Like, everyone carries a lot of, bro. Allow yourself. Allow yourself to be human.
Just be human.
Everyone needed this episode for sure.
We did. So I want to end it with what you just said. And then, since this episode, we're going to call it Siblings, I'll end it on one more line. So, I had my brother and sister, Jacob and Leisha. Those my siblings. The Big Bang guys, those my siblings. Law, Q, Tari, those my siblings. But my T1 family, for real, are my motherfucking siblings now, my newest family. And I'll say T1 Soundbox, because Lim and Rich, man, y'all are so motherfucking dope.
Dope as fuck.
Like,
the love you guys show us, man, by backing our visions is just, it's untouchable, bro.
These are bonds that I wouldn't risk for anything,
Amen.
And y'all are, for real, my brother. I've talked to y'all about anything, everything. You've seen my personal life. I don't hide things from you. There's no trying to sugarcoat or act cooler than I am or anything. Like, I'm able to be myself, so I thank all of you for that. And it's funny too, because like, like between like me, you, Derek, and everybody else, like Derek's real territorial, so he don't like me bringing new people around T1. But I'm like I mentioned when bringing my dad and brothers on, like I'm a family person. I want as much family as I can to know that I have more people's backs and they have my back. So I'm always trying to grow this family.
And I would say I'm not as
territorial.
I'm not as territorial, but when I create a bond with people, I always think of myself as a protector. That's always how I've always been, and so for me, it's always been. I'm always gonna let that person. I'll always let Tone bring in whoever he wants. If he trusts him, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But the moment that you cross that, I won't allow you back in. And so, like, and I think, again, it circles back to just having that nurturing and having that it grows you and changes you. And so.
And that's my job, too, is when they do that where it's like, oh, I'm done. It's my job to bring them back together. It's my job to say, well, this is why that person needs to be a part of this, or this is why we're trying out this new person to be part of our family. It's, and I never want to put, like every individual is invaluable. Like you can't say they can only help you this much. You don't know what their experiences are that can guide you to make a better decision. Or honestly, if it's a business relationship, who they're connected to, who will listen to them in a different way that can further advance you. But no matter who I work with, I want them to work with me because they like who I am as a person versus the talent versus the connections I have. Like, just
but also understanding
work
that,
with us because of who we are, not
yeah,
because of what we
exactly. That's what I was just gonna say. But also understanding that, again, we're all human and we're all learning and growing, and we all have. I've said this before in other episodes. We all learn the same lessons at different times.
Yeah.
And so we're always constantly growing and progressing.
Yeah.
And so you have to have that understanding going into almost any situation. And the moment you block yourself from that is the moment you really miss out on some of these amazing people, amazing opportunities.
Yep.
So, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I'm super grateful for Soundbox. I'm, you know, Lim, you've changed my whole sound for my second album.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm
gonna make me crash.
I'm super grateful. Tone, you already know the effect you've had on my life since I've met you.
I mean, you can still talk about it. we can use another 20, 30 minutes. I know we were gonna wrap, but now we got to me. So
no, man.
Let's keep it going.
I think.
Hang on. What were you saying about Soundbox?
I think this. Even this podcast, we've talked about it for years, and in the beginning, in the infancy stages, we always thought it was just going to be about city boy shit and
nightlife.
And
we never thought it would get to here.
And now we get to this episode where
this is wild.
We've had episodes where we talked about my story, your story. And we've had some fun, and we talked about Dallas, but now
every episode becomes my favorite episode after we
man,
what is happening? This is crazy.
I love the dynamic though, like the back and forth, like hearing both of your guys' stories. This has been a beautiful episode for me. This is fucking
so
cool.
Thank you, man. And the best part is the realest shit is always organic, and
facts.
I never.
We had a whole plan of every episode for this.
Let's
show
talk about
and
Tampa.
season, and we haven't looked. We ain't looked at. We ain't opened the fucking note.
Nothing.
We even missed the intro this time.
And I promise
Tempe
y'all,
or Tampa siblings. What the fuck?
I promise you, next episode will be fun. But
We
this
ain't making no
episode,
more promises. You gonna get what you get. You don't throw a fit.
this episode, man. This episode, man, it was important because it really it just shows how yin and yang, like how we became friends is wild to me, because when you think about our past,
So different.
and but then the similarities that we've had, and then the way that we've turned out, and then the fact that we're still able to be friends, like that shit is literally.
You know what I'm
divine
gonna get you to
intervention.
talk about on the next episode is you've told me and other people have told me that if I would have met you maybe a year or two before I did, I wouldn't have fucked with you.
Oh, you would have hated me, bro.
Damn.
Oh,
we
nigga.
gotta save that.
You gotta save
He's
that.
a whole different person.
That-
That's again divine timing.
That shit, bro. The person I used to be. Whoo,
Yeah.
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 That shit was rough.
That's wild.
Oh my God.
But for now, Lim.
I think we need it.
Yes, sir. Here we
Play
go. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. Shout out to our sponsors, the Soundbox, J. Lynn.
Hey, check out this merch.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about
Sunday
the merch.
Vibes.
Sunday Vibes, baby.
By
Sunday
Tevin
Vibes merch.
Jones.
Tevin Jones.
You
New
keep the
merch.
music playing. You got
Yeah, hey. Let's go. TNT. Dynamite. TNT.
Let's
Go all night.
That's right.
TNT.
Yeah.
Dynamite. TNT.
That's TNT.
We might fight. Who knows?
TNT.
Tone and Tevin.
TNT.
Tevin and Tone.
TNT.
Titties and titties.
Titties and titties. Cheers, y'all.
Top tier.